to Mistlands AI horror. Tonight, we trade the ancient mountains for the misty backroads. We leave behind the collective fears of a village for a terror that chooses its victims one by one in the isolation of their own car. This is a warning, especially for men who drive alone at night. If you are ever on the lonely, rain-slicked roads of Nicaragua, of Costa Rica, and your headlights catch a beautiful woman by the roadside, her hand raised, remember the story. Remember the ones who made the mistake of stopping. We call her La Cegua. Her story is breathed into the humid air of Central America, a legend as old as the fog in the highland passes. She is said to be the spirit of a betrayed woman, a vengeful force, or perhaps something older, a primal warning made flesh. Her method is a trap woven for desire and chivalry.
¿Tienes dónde quedarte?
She appears in the hollow hours between midnight and dawn, a vision of stunning beauty in a white dress, often with her face hidden. She is stranded, helpless, a damsel in genuine distress. But this is the bait. The hook is set the moment you let her into your vehicle. For the final act, revelation requires a simple, everyday action. A glance in your rearview mirror. It is there, in that reflection, that her beauty melts away. The face that looks back is not human. It is the skull of a horse, the visage of a demon, a rotting nightmare smiling at you from the back seat. And by then, the road ahead has disappeared, and it is far, far too late. In the winter of 2018, a series of frantic posts appeared on a regional trucker forum. The user, logging only from public terminals, claimed his name was Marcos. He was a long-haul driver, a man familiar with every shadow on his route through the Nicaraguan highlands. One night, under a torrential downpour that turned the road into a river of mud, he saw her. A figure, barely visible in the storm. Against the screaming instinct in his gut, he pulled over. The woman slid into the passenger seat, not a word. She gave only the name of a remote village up the mountain. As the car moved forward, a profound silence descended, broken only by the rhythmic thumping of the wipers. Marcos later wrote that the interior grew cold, and a smell invaded the cabin after him, with a dense, wet scent of upturned earth and decaying leaves. He tried to make conversation, his voice tight. No reply came. His eyes flickered from the road to the passenger seat. She sat perfectly still, staring ahead. But in the dim green light of the dashboard, he thought he saw the profile of her jaw shift. It seemed longer, sharper. I triggered the light, he told himself. A product of nerves and the old stories. Then, instinctively, he checked his rear view mirror to see the road guide. And in that glass, he saw the truth. The reflection showed the creature in his passenger seat, turning its head towards him. Its face was elongated, a stretched parody of bone, taut, leathery skin. Where eyes should have been were two deep, empty sockets that held the darkness deeper than the night outside. And it was smiling, a wide, impossible grin filled with rows of needle-like teeth. Marcos screamed. He wrenched the steering wheel, sending the truck careening onto the muddy shoulder. He doesn't remember unbuckling his seatbelt, only remembers the feel of the cold, sucking mud as he scrambled out and ran blindly into the black wall of the jungle, thorns tearing at his clothes, driven by pure animal terror. He was found at dawn, miles away, curled in the roots of a giant tree, mumbling about the face in the mirror.
Are you
His
injured?
truck was recovered,
Stay with us.
doors wide open, engine quietly flooding in the rain. There was no sign of a passenger,
That's his vehicle.
no
What
physical
happened to the
evidence at
passenger?
all. The official report listed acute stress-induced psychosis, but the forum where he posted knew better. They watched as his final messages grew, sporadic, paranoid, footsteps on his porch at night, to wake up with the taste of soil in his mouth. Then the pulse stopped altogether. So, what are we to make of La Cegua? Is she a literal spirit hunting the highways? Or is she something more profounder, dark metaphor given form? She is the fear of the stranger you invite into your sanctuary. She is the horror of the beautiful mask that cracks to reveal the corruption beneath. She is that pivotal second of recognition, the glance in the mirror that shatters your understanding of the world, leaving you forever running through an internal jungle, never looking back. If this tale has made you glance at your own reflection, you understand her power, subscribe and delve deeper. For our next journey, we leave the deceptive roads for the deceptive peace of the home. We will explore a being forged not from flesh or spirit, but from smokeless fire, a creature of ancient pacts and wishes twisted into curses. The legend of the Jinn is waiting. Until then, drive carefully. And remember, not every shadow in the rearview mirror is your own. This has been Mistlands AI